In 2016, we got Superman and a Batman crossover that was the second step in the whole DCEU. It's kind of a pseudo sequel to 2013's Man of Steel, and being a hit at the box office must be a sign that's great, right? Well, the critics and audiences say otherwise. The movie had a 69% drop in earnings. Yes, it made around $800 to $900 million at the box office, but it had one of the biggest drops for a superhero movie at the box office. Critically, it didn't perform so well either, having a Rotten Tomatoes score and having an average rating of 2.4 on Letterboxd. That is extremely low. On the other hand, Snyder fans praised it as one of the best comic book movies of all time. Who is right, Snyder fans or everyone else? Well, I already know the answer because I'm making this fucking video, but let's go through the movie. The movie starts with the death of Jimmy Olsen.
I'm not timid.
Okay. Yeah, he's Jimmy Olsen. He's a big Superman supporting character. But why kill him now if we don't know anything about him? Because I don't give a shit about him. Oh yeah, and then Superman comes in and kills the guy. Superman doesn't kill, you morons! Literally, the first thing he does is a thing Superman would never do. What? Who made the script? Chris Terrio made the script? Well, fuck you, Chris. Anyway, we go to the Batman stuff. We see his origin, you know the basic stuff. His parents get killed and he falls into a well where he gets lifted up by bats. I don't know if the last part was in the comics because I don't remember any other version doing this, but okay. Batman, played by Ben Affleck, is not a fan of Superman. He sees him as a big threat. And this time, Batman is actually right. Look, Superman isn't the bad guy in the film's perspective. But in my eyes, and I think other ones' eyes, I see Superman as a weird, careless killing machine. He doesn't care when people get murdered, which makes him killing Zod in Man of Steel weird, because why would he care? He doesn't care about anyone who isn't called Lois Lane. And then we get the introduction of my least favorite casting of a superhero movie. Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. He's so annoying. He's not trying to be subtle. And honestly, if I was the commissioner in that movie, I would have never come to that trial because Luthor is so obviously suspicious. I hate him so much in that fucking movie. I mean, I love him in Zombieland. Don't get me wrong, he's not the worst actor. But here, he is the worst actor. His performance doesn't match the character at all. Take the animated version. The animated version is played by Clancy Brown. Like, he's a rich dude who hates Superman, but doesn't let anyone know except for Superman and other heroes. To be honest, this live action version looks and sounds more like a generic stock scientist. Like, he's more close to movie Dr. Eggman than, Lex Luthor. Like, the League of Super Pets did him better than this movie. Luthor kidnaps Clark's mother and sends him on a quest to fight Batman. Batman already knows. It creates a giant suit that has the stuff needed to take down Supes. The fight itself is really fun, but nothing special. Honestly, I wanted more, but it gets interrupted by the most iconic line of lines.
Why did you say that name? Martha, why did you say that name?
Stop! Please, stop!
Why did you say that name?
It's his mother's name!
Lex Luthor, for some fucking reason has created Doomsday, and sorry, but what makes his blood so special that when it mixes with Zod's dead cold blood, it creates Doomsday? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that doesn't happen in the comics. Okay, here I've looked it up and it says Doomsday was born during prehistoric times on Krypton. An alien scientist named Bertrand conducted a series of cruel experiments on a humanoid infant in which it is killed over and over again until it evolves into Doomsday, then known as the Ultimates. Doomsday eventually kills Bertrand. So, this doesn't make any sense. Also, throughout the movie, Wonder Woman appears, and in the final fight, she does stuff, I guess. Look, she's not a bad character, but is such a worthless character that should have been given better writing. Also, I forgot to mention this until now, we see this alternative timeline where Superman goes evil and kills Batman. It's implied Lois died, but does that mean Batman never fights Superman? Does that mean Lex Luthor never creates Doomsday? We never get the answers, we just see Superman killing Batman and Ezra Miller's The Flash going back to the movie's current time to warn Bruce, saying, Lois is the key. But Lois does literally nothing other than saying the name of Clark's mother. That was the secret to making Superman and Batman team up? What? Batman also made a spear of kryptonite that Superman uses after they teamed up to kill Doomsday, and then Superman also dies. This would be more effective if you saw the movie before Justice League. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not awful that he died in this movie, but as someone that has seen like Justice League, which released 1 year later, he comes back in that movie. So what's the point? And then the movie ends. First of all, everybody besides Jesse Eisenberg did a great to decent job in the acting departments.
Daddy, I want to turn on
crack. Fuck off.
But you...
Yes, also Gal Gadot, even though I'm not really a fan of her, she did a decent job. But Ben Affleck is the best in this film, and Batman stays good throughout the film. Although, I don't remember, but I think he kills in this movie. Also correct me if I'm wrong on that statement, but yeah, besides maybe that moment, he's the best part about this movie. Now, Superman, on the other hand, is completely disrespected. Zack was like, so this is what everybody likes about Superman, huh? Well, let's just make him a killing machine. This wasn't the biggest problem in Man of Steel, but oh my god, is it a big issue here. Superman isn't Superman, he's just an evil copy from Superman 3, but a little less evil. The only time he felt like Superman is when he tried to talk to Batman before trying to punch him. That's it. That's all what is in character for him. Further than that, Lois Lane is still boring as shit. Like, no amount of fixing can fix this version of how uninteresting she is. Just like I said before, Gal Gadot is fine. Not much to say about her, and anybody else is also fine. It's also weird that most of the Justice League is just getting a random ass cameo, like they said, oh yeah, guys, this is the most you get out of them for the big crossover team up. There are other things that I liked. For one, this is the best looking DCEU movie. The costume design, the world, and yes, the actors they cast besides Jesse fucking Eisenberg fit the characters. Hans Zimmer does a great job with the score. I mean, we are talking about the guy who did the score for Madagascar 3 and Boss Baby. The special effects looked really great, and Doomsday especially I appreciate, since Marvel and DC are rushing their CGI nowadays. Looking at She-Hulk, almost everything of Phase 4, and especially The Flash. The last thing I want to touch on is that it's actually decent in its connectivity in this film and the Justice League movie. It feels like it's actually a cinematic universe, and while Justice League cameos in this movie feel kinda lame, they add to the connectivity. Later in the DCU's life, the universe went every direction, but also went nowhere. They made incredible movies after this, but the only thing Batman v Superman and Justice League were actually competent at was being actual connective universe. There's not much left to say than the fact this is where the DCU stumbles and kinda never recovers. 3 out of 10. And for the people who said, yeah, Batman v Superman, it's really mature. Then why did Luther make a bomb called Granny PC? It looks like piss.